Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tori if you're new here, and today we are stocking up on some items that I have been reading will be in a food shortage. Now, a few disclaimers. If you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Tori. We make videos all about life on a budget. Here in Colorado, we believe in preparing for every emergency that life may throw at you. So if you like that kind of thing, please hit that subscribe button. We would love it if you became part of our YouTube family. Make sure you give this video a like if you enjoy it. That really helps the channel. And if you have time today, it would be solid if you could watch those ads. It's just really helpful. I understand not everyone has time, but I like to throw that in there every few months just in case you didn't know. So with that being said, I have been reading lately just a few different articles about predicted food shortages. Now, do I know if it's true? No, but we talk about this all the time on the channel. You have to trust the sources. You have to figure out what sources you actually like to listen to, what sources may make sense. So I'm going to drop a few of those in the description box, some articles that I've been reading. And there are different ingredients, different food items, different everyday life items that I've been reading about, but I've just narrowed down my list to 5 or 6 items just because when we prep, we do it on a budget. I'm not going to go out and spend thousands of dollars on one item in one single trip because that's not how our budget works. So if you see a few things that I'm missing on this list, I might be doing another list if you enjoy this video. So again, it really depends what sources you're looking at. And I wanted to say that I will be doing more videos like this where I'm sitting down and talking. If you're new here, I typically am doing cooking videos, but I have just not been too busy in the kitchen. It is more about preservation right now, and it's more about not going into a grocery budget. So if you aren't new here, you may have seen that I didn't do a grocery haul this week either. That is because we are continuing our no spend. We are going to try and make it the month. Fingers crossed we can do it. So I hope you're not missing too much of the cooking videos, but I still want to challenge myself to stock up for my prepper pantry, my everyday pantry, and my long-term food storage pantry. We do really have a few pantries in the household right now, and one contributes throughout the week, some contribute throughout the month, and then others we're not really touching. We're trying to keep things a little shelf stable. So I'm going to go through my list here. Now, this list is going to be a little unique because I'm trying to think of alternatives in case there is a food shortage of these items. I often get asked, what if the article's wrong? What if you're wrong? Well, we say it all the time. We'll just have some extra food to preserve, so it's really not that big of a deal. But I'm trying to find things that are a little shelf stable, some things that I can make on my own. I am an active canner and I love freezing items, dehydrating, really trying my best to take things from my garden that I've grown or take things from local farms to see what I can do with them throughout the year. So I'm trying to make them into shelf-stable items. Now my freezers are filled for the year. I'm excited. I have just a lot of preparation that went into that, so I'm happy about that. Now I'm focusing on more dehydrated items or canned items. So that is where we're going, in that direction. I often get asked why I don't freeze dry, because they're really expensive and we just didn't buy one. That's the gist of it, basically. So I have my items next to me here. Again, this is just a list of things that my family and I would use that is on the food shortage list. For instance, potatoes are on this list. If your family doesn't like potatoes, you don't have to worry about that. Double up on something else. So it's really specific to the family. All right, first thing on the list is butter. Now we're talking about shelf-stable items. You can find butter at a good price. Honestly, I shop my Kroger app a lot and find things on sale, but if I go into the store, I find a lot in the sale sections, closeouts, things like that. So if you find a bunch of butter, go ahead and freeze it. You could actually can butter, turn it into ghee and can it. Or if you need an alternative, if you're finding butter out there and it's just too expensive, especially with the holidays coming up, I suggest finding an alternative. So I have organic coconut oil and it is a buttery flavor. This is shelf stable. It is really awesome. Honestly, I was plant-based for a while and this was a good alternative, and there's many alternatives out there. If you are baking, you know, you could use applesauce, you could use flax meal. But if you're really missing that buttery flavor, this is a great alternative. I find mine at Walmart and it's under $10. So I think this is a great value, hence Walmart, great value. But this is perfect for all your baking needs. So if you're finding butter out there and it's just too expensive, or maybe you're finding none at all, then go ahead and pick up one of these. I think this is really helpful. Again, there are different alternatives out there. It just really depends on what you and your family like. So you're probably going to hear me say that a lot if you're new here. I feel like a broken record, but it is very specific to the family. Okay, next one is ketchup. We found that there might be a ketchup shortage, but before that, a few months ago, it was predicted that there would be a canned tomato shortage. So I'm assuming that goes hand in hand. I could go wrong. I will say I like to make my own ketchup. I like to can my own ketchup, but this year I gave myself a break. It's the one thing that I didn't can. I've been finding these organic, no high fructose corn syrup ketchups at Target for under $2 when they go on sale. They usually go for 30% off. I'm not exactly sure why. If you're a Target employee, you can let me know, but I'm gonna read the ingredients because I'm all about that if you're new here. Organic tomato concentrate, organic tapioca syrup, I'm assuming for a thickener, organic distilled vinegar, organic sugar, less than 2% of salt, organic onion powder, and organic spices. When I see sugar is in something, I don't panic, but I don't want something way too high. So this is 2 grams of sugar, which is perfect because I don't like my ketchup sweet. So I got 2 of these this week. I got 2 of these this week, and I really think I'll just keep stocking up. Again, if you have an abundance of tomatoes and didn't use it on salsa and sauces, which is what I did this week, go ahead and pick you up some ketchup because we use ketchup all the time for all different kinds of recipes, and this was across the board on every single list that I read. Okay, moving on to another condiment. That condiment is Sriracha. I always pronounce that wrong, so please don't try and correct me. I try my best every time, and that's what counts, right? So Sriracha we are using typically in Asian and Thai inspired dishes, but if you don't enjoy Sriracha, which a lot of people don't, then keep this off your list. So I have a few in the prepper pantry, but I tried my hand at making some, and let me tell you, it is just as delicious. So I got some ingredients for that. I got some dried chili pods. I get these at Walmart in the Hispanic food sections. Super inexpensive. Again, another one that is under $3. So I got a bunch of these, and I will drop my recipes down in the description box if you're ever curious about some of these recipes that I mention. If you don't see it in the description box, that just means I'm human and I forgot. Please ask me in the comments and I will try my best to comment back as quickly as possible the recipe for you. So you're gonna need some chili pods, a few spices, and then you're also gonna need vinegar, which I always stock up on. I'm constantly canning. I clean with vinegar. There's a lot that you can do with vinegar. We're always making brines for fermented items in my refrigerator. We like doing that. We really enjoy it. So I'm always finding vinegar, and that is a key ingredient for the Sriracha as well. So that was number 3 on the list. I'm trying to keep track here with numbers. I know that's helpful for a lot of us. So that was number 3 on the list. You can make your own. You can certainly go out and buy it. They have generic versions. I keep seeing bulk Sriracha on Amazon. It keeps being suggested to me, probably because I'm talking about it out loud in front of my phone, which is a little freaky, but that's how technology goes, right? So it really depends what kind of companies that you are supporting. I still use Amazon. It's easy for me as a mom that typically is staying at home with her young children. So I use Amazon. I might look into that case. I'm gonna wait for a price drop or Amazon Prime Days coming up in October. You can notify yourself on the Amazon app if you want to know about a price drop on that item. So I'll probably do that. Right now it's sitting at over $50. I need something down in the 30s for me to actually buy it. So that is what I'm waiting on. Next up, chickpeas. If you are new here, I love chickpeas. I eat chickpeas quite often. So I use it in hummus. I use it in curries. I like to toast them up and snack on them. I grind them down and make them into a plant-based like chicken product. I often get asked, does it taste like chicken? No, because it's a chickpea. But I don't know, the consistency kind of reminds me of it. So it depends if you like chickpeas. I feel like a lot of people do. So dried chickpeas are great to have. You can grind it down into a flour if you wanted. You can soak them overnight and move them into a hummus if you want. My idea idea is to make a hummus and freeze it this year. You can also can hummuses, you just don't blend them is my understanding. I've never tried that, so I might try that this year. I went ahead and picked up 3 bags of garbanzo beans or chickpeas, just the dried kind. And then I went ahead and picked up a few cans as well. Again, Amazon offers these in bulk, and Azure Standard does as well. I just didn't want to wait the month for the delivery. That's just me though. I order from them a ton, and I will be putting it in my next order. But chickpeas, great one to have on hand, especially if you enjoy them just as much as I do. So I actually have a bunch in my long-term storage in Mylar bags. I have some in some 5-gallon buckets as well. That's how much I enjoy them. That and pinto beans is really something I'm typically stocking up on. And chickpeas across the board was on all of these lists. So I encourage you to stock up on these. They are very inexpensive, especially if you find them at a discounted price. These bags were under $1 because they went 20% off. So I went ahead and took 3 bags. I tried to save some for other chickpea lovers like myself, but they come in all shapes and sizes, all different colors. So I got some dried and some canned for now. I will film some videos about frozen hummus if you want me to, but it's very basic ingredients. You're just putting in some freezer bags, or you can put in some glass jars, just not filling all the way, and then putting them in the freezer. I still have some room in there for items like that. We are eating hummus weekly, so we go through it a ton. Next on the list is gonna be potatoes. That was across the board as well. My garden did not produce many potatoes, but I have a farmer friend who I called and asked if they had any on the dirt potatoes. And you can ask some of your farms if they'll do that for you. It really just depends your relationship. And he said I can pick up a couple of pounds, and by a couple he said 15 to 20. So I can go ahead and buy those weekly if I want to. He keeps them in cold storage. You could buy them from the grocery store, but they are already aged potatoes, so I don't know if they would last you longer than 2 weeks, but you never know. So just inquire about it at your local grocery store. You could certainly grow some. Mine just didn't do the best. We have a few red potatoes that are in my little makeshift cellar, but other than that, I am going to be buying from my local farmer. But those are whole potatoes, so I can go ahead and can them or freeze them. I can make them into freezer mashed potatoes, which I did a few videos back. Really anything, but I did want to have some dried potatoes on hand. So I found these hash brown, fresh cut dried potatoes. I found these on Amazon and they were inexpensive. I believe they were under $15, maybe under 10. I have to look and see on that one, but these are great to have in a pinch, and they are shelf stable. I will be transferring these to some mason jars and then vacuum sealing all of that air out of there, or you could put them in Mylar if you wanted, but I just want them to be easily accessible. So this is going into my second pantry, which is more of my prepper pantry. So again, I have that pantry that works for us every day, and then I have the second pantry where we keep a back stock of items for up to a 2-year shelf life, although we ignore a lot of expiration dates in my household. And then we have that third one, which is more long-term. So this could go in either of the pantries, but I think this will go into my second pantry. And then with that being said, Augustin Farms has a website, but they also have a lot of shelf-stable items that are on Amazon. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I have those linked in my Amazon storefront. I do get a small kickback from that if you buy from my links, but if you don't feel like it, I'm just letting you know that Amazon always has really great deals on freeze-dried items. So they have a lot of potatoes. They have 5-gallon buckets of potatoes. If you go through as many as we do in my family, I'd look into that, but this was on sale this week, so I went ahead and grabbed this box of hash browns. Okay, last on the list, you're gonna look at me a little funny, but we got wheat berries. Who loves wheat berries? I do. This is an alternative to flour if you're not grinding down those chickpeas, but I got some hard wheat berries, which contain a little bit more gluten. You could also find soft wheat berries. I was always hesitant to buy these because I assumed you needed a grain mill. I had no idea that you could grind this down in a blender. I thought you could only grind it down in a very high-tech expensive blender. That's not the case. My oyster blender was 20 bucks, I think, from Walmart, and I can grind down wheat berries in here and then use it immediately for different recipes. So I figured I'd have these on hand. They have larger bags, and I've heard that if you're lucky, Sam's Club may carry them. It really depends on your area. Mine does not, but I keep checking back because a lot of the employees say they've seen them before. So hopefully they're correct. I'd love to get them in bulk so you can put these in 5-gallon buckets or Mylar storage, or keep them on the counter for short-term storage. Honestly, you could just keep them in your flour bucket and grind these down as you make recipes. If you don't want something time-consuming, go ahead and stock up on flour. I'm typically stocking up every week on flour just because we bake so much bread in the winter time, and I like to have it on hand. I can find unbleached good flour at Walmart or Target. You could get it at your local grocery store. Again, Azure has those big 50-pound bags, so I go ahead and get some of those maybe once a year. I think I've bought 2 bags since I've heard of Azure, so maybe less than once a year, but wheat berries are a great alternative. So on the back of this bag, which I got on Amazon, they have storing instructions, they have recipes, and I love this company. They're out of Washington. So I enjoy having these on hand. I think they're awesome. And these burlap bags actually can turn into little grow bags. I set them on my windowsill and grow herbs out of them throughout the year. I grow them in the winter. So if you want to transfer your wheat berries into a shelf-stable container and use the burlap bag, they make a really awesome grow bag, like I was saying. So that's another idea. And that is my list for the week. If you are new here, I do videos like this every Friday on different types of prepper items that you can keep on hand. And then throughout the week, we're trying to move into different items for preparedness. So recently I did a car item preparedness, and I wanted to touch on that. A lot of people said I needed jumper cables and car starters and different things like that. I understand that. That was not included in the list. It was prepper items to keep in the car. So it wasn't necessarily for a car emergency. It was more like a go bag. So something that you can take and go with you. I understand that those type of items would have been helpful, but I was planning on doing a different video all about that. So I wanted to clear up some confusion. I understand that title was a little confusing. But anywho, we make videos like this every single week. Let me know in the comments down below what kind of videos you want to see. Again, I know a lot of you enjoy my cooking videos, but I'm taking a break from the kitchen for a bit just to sit down and talk to you like this. I really enjoy this style of videos, and in the season we're in right now, this is the easiest way for me to get content out to you. If you're on social media, I'd love it if you gave me a follow on Instagram. I make videos every day over there, content every day, and I share a little bit more about our homestead. So if you're interested in that and you have an Instagram account, go ahead and give me a follow. I'm going to wrap up the video here. Thank you so much for being here, bearing with me, and being patient in this little season of our life. As always, stay adventurous, stay creative. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everyone.